for everyone, it's not really easy to know whether or not the solutions you have at hand are really addressing symptoms or addressing the root cause. And one of the problems we're facing today is our need for focus, or I should say the problem is our inability to focus. So we're constantly being distracted. And when you look up solutions to that problem, how can I increase my focus? How can I decrease my distractionness? You find many solutions that, in my opinion, in my mind, are really symptoms oriented. For example, reduce distraction by turning off your phone, putting on not disturbing me, close out your email, or reduce the bings, the notifications. Tell people that you're working on something you don't want to be distracted. Go on a retreat for a week and deep dive on something. So there are solutions that will reduce the distractions, but I should say here, mainly the external distractions. Okay, so these are the kinds of distractions that people, through their priority, through their importance, inform you of something. And so you receive notification, you receive new information, new input. And all those external inputs, you can manage them by these tips and tricks on how to reduce the distractions. But they still lack the ability to reduce your inner distractions, your own thinking, your own thought process, your own emotions, your own wants, needs that fluctuate. You're not a robot. So thinking, I'll block out all the distractions from outside and that is it, is a little bit of a wishful thinking. I personally believe, no offense here. But that's still symptomatic. It's an approach to symptoms and not the root cause. Because in essence, what is the root cause here? What is the root problem? Well, the root problem is that when new information comes in to our brain, we have a tendency to evaluate on an absolute basis the new information based on one criteria. And that is the information new or old? New information is always more interesting than old information. And to your brain, whatever you're doing is old information when faced with the new input. So the evaluation happens on a, in my opinion, highly inefficient basis. You're not actually comparing the information with what you should be comparing the information that comes in order for you to evaluate should or should I not be distracted or geared to that new information. But the only way you can actually do that kind of evaluation is that you have something to compare that new information with. You need a system. You need a life management system. That is the one and only solution to increasing your focus and reducing the distractions. Here it comes. Whenever I receive an email, whenever my clients receive an email or a call, what happens is they have a systematic approach to analyzing and deciding on whether or not that new information is relevant and needs their attention right now. And they all tell me that prior to this approach and to the systematic thinking process, the fear of missing something was too big. The inner distraction, the inner pressure was too big to not attend to those information. But what that really meant is that people were much more reactive to their lives instead of being highly proactive. What that means is that you're constantly stressed out that you might be missing something. You might not be attending to what you should be attending. So you hope, you're in a lot of hoping. You hope that you do right. You hope that you did good. You hope that you did the right work, the right task. You hope, instead of knowing. It's a whole new game when you get to bed at night and you've done your best. You've done your best. Not you've been the best, not you've been perfect. That's just doesn't exist. But you've done your best. That's a whole new game. In order for you to get there, you need a life management system. What is a life management system? It's a way of thinking. It's a process of how to think through your work. Stop thinking about your work and start thinking through your work. That is, how do you approach your work? So you need a thinking pattern. That's a habit to develop. You need tools, you need an organizational tool. Doesn't matter. Do you work on paper? Do you work mostly on the computer? Do you like Microsoft tools? Do you like Google tools? Do you like Trello? Do you like Asana? Do you like Wunderlist, To-Do List, OmniFocus? There are so many tools, But these tools come second, not first. Most people, when they need to reduce the distraction, increase the focus, increase their productivity, they go wham, I need a tool. I need a new tool, sexy new tool. If you don't have a thinking process, those tools, you won't get to them. You won't use them appropriately. Just make a self-check. Do the tools that you use really reduce or annihilate the stress level and increase your productivity? Just do a self-check. And I'm betting for most people, they'd be like, yeah, honestly, it helped for quite a day, maybe a week, maybe a month if you've been really good. But no, I don't actually feel a total change in it's not transformational. And we're here for transformation, right? I am for transformation. I am for living up to your real potential. And that requires a real transformation. So make that self-check. Do you have a systematic thinking approach to your work? Do you have tools that match with that thinking process? Second question. And third, do you have proper work habits that have been priorly identified by you? Because when it comes to increasing your focus or reducing the distraction, the first mindset shift you can be doing right away is, and that's a big one, okay? It really is a big one. Stop taking yourself too seriously. I'm going to say, what? The F has that to do with productivity, focus, and distraction. A lot. Me thinking I need to rock it, I need to be highly performing, I need to manage it all, is what caused me to be highly unproductive. In essence, it's my ego, it's me taking myself very seriously that got in the way of me building something that was better than me. I need a system that is better than myself. And it's a scary thought. Have a system. For you to rely on a system, that's dependency. That's like the opposite of, in essence, what I'm all about. Living up to your potential is becoming free. And me being depending and other clients being depending on a system requires, I think, a small dose of humility, because if the system breaks, will I break, is in essence my big fear. But what I have found is that, I am an emotional being. I am irrational most of the time. I am inconsistent most of the time. Like my wish for being a perfect robotic algorithm that functions properly all the time, dude, that's just wishful thinking. I regularly fall back in the trap of wishing that, but it's just not the reality I live in. So I need a system that is better than me, that alleviates the fact that I'm emotional, that sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just go, I don't want to get up. I don't want to live right now. Like right now, I just want to close my eyes, shut everything down, and be off. That's just my reality. How can I still function when I'm in that state? If I rely on myself to being on top of my level to function properly, I won't. And so I need a life management system that is outside of me. And that's the moment when I have something that is better than me. I have put in my thoughts in. That's the moment where I become able to actually evaluate new information with everything that is stored in my system. Thoughts come in, I jot them down, put them in my system, and get to them on time. If I wouldn't do that, I'd be like, well, I need to attend it right now, because if I don't attend it right now, I'll what? Forget it. And I want to forget. I want to forget everything, because right now I'm here with you. I'm thinking about you, and I don't want to be thinking a second later. I don't want to be thinking about what I will do this afternoon or later this evening or tomorrow. I don't know. My system knows, but I don't know. And that's key for me to be evaluating whatever comes in. I receive calls, I receive emails, like everyone. But I decide whether or not I should be distracted right now. That's called being meaningfully engaged. That's called being present. All here, all hands on deck, all my energy, all my resource, all my thinking, all my creativity, here and now, every step of the way, present. Only through a life management system. So if you want to get more proactive in your life, less reactive, if you want to cut down distractions, sure, close up your phone, right? I don't know, all those newsletters, like if you have too many newsletters, you might want to unsubscribe some newsletters, not mine. You might want to unsubscribe things. You might want to erase apps on your phone. You might want to turn off notifications altogether. Like all that is all good and fine. I'll do that as well myself. But that is just not solving the core problem. And the core problem of distraction is not in too much information, because that's the constant reality. It's not too many information coming in, because that's the constant reality. What distracts us is our inability to safely, soundly, and in a relaxed way, evaluate those information coming in. That's what distracts us. It's not the information per se. It's our inability to evaluate on a relative basis that new information with a given system. So I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please engage with me. I'll be continuing to shoot many videos of those types of learning. Enjoy your day, and as always, live up to your potential. Bye.